that the numbers do not show this to be the best, or should I say, the numbers are more expensive. Just is more expensive for the same service. And that's the whole thing, is that it's not exactly the same service. And yet, the question that we need to ask our citizens is the difference between what Southwest Washington does and the West Columbia Gorge Humane Society does, is that difference worth the extra money? And I know that we've heard many passionate volunteers and lots of testimony from the volunteers at the Humane Society with regards to them saying that it is. And yet, here's what's interesting about that balancing of the comments that we hear. In talking to citizens one-on-one, there are constituents who will voice an opposing view, but they're not willing to do it on a public forum. I mean, it sounds heartless, among other things, and why would they put themselves in that position? So there is a discussion that goes on amongst our constituents, and I'll be voting against this amendment.
I have a comment.
Yes, Jennifer.
In regards to Councilman Delavar's comments, if you take the heart out of the issue, 27 years ago, the cities of Camas and Washougal entered into an interlocal agreement to take care of our own animals. And we established the animal controls, and we built an animal shelter, and we now have a fantastic humane society to run it for us. And personally, if I thought I could get it passed, I would have made a motion to increase it to $25,000, which is what we paid them last year. They're worth every penny. This is my personal opinion. However, I know and have heard in past discussions at workshops that this is not the desire of the council, so this is what I'm proposing, and I'll be satisfied with that, and we can move on and get the budget passed.
I just want to add that this means basically that there's 6 months for the West Columbia Gorge Humane Society to work out the future with our city and with Camas. 2 months seemed like too short a fuse. So that's what I would strongly encourage the board to do, is to try and work out with the two cities a mutually satisfactory agreement.
It appears this is going to pass. I'm happy for the Humane Society. I won't be supporting it. And my reasons are really very complex, in spite of the fact that I love cats and dogs, and I'm allergic to both, but I have a dog. I'm philosophically opposed to supporting missions which are not directly connected with the city, and I don't see this connection. And secondly, were I a member of the police union who just coughed up $32,000 out of their contract, I would question the priorities of the council. And so I can't support this one. I'm happy for you, however.
Any other items, Molly?
Well, since everyone else has chimed in. Actually, I do agree in some sense with Councilman Shoemaker. I mean, I don't believe that animal services, I know it's remarkable, is really at a core service that a city is required to provide. And I think as the years go by, we're going to see the city, our city and all the other ones, continue to whittle down the services that they provide into what the core services are. And I am fully aware, I mean, I have financially supported the West Columbia Gorge Humane Society considerably in the past, and I'll continue to do that in the future, as well as volunteer. And I know that our communities of Camas and Washougal can rise to that and support fully the communities, the people, the citizens, the dog owners and cat owners and dog lovers will support the West Columbia Gorge in their unique and wonderful mission. So I will support the amendment tonight, knowing that it is a cut from what they had requested, and knowing that probably for the 2012 budget, I certainly would predict that that number would be even smaller. So I will support this tonight. Thank you.
And I will also add, that this reduction, I believe that the other two agencies that we're talking about in the same context earlier in a debate was about the children's home, who I believe saw their numbers reduced by 50%?
25%.
25%. And then also the community education saw theirs reduced by
0.
0? Okay. And so we're talking about, an 84% cut, versus what this amendment is a 50% cut. And I think it gradually gets us to where we want to go, which is, I think, having the Humane Society being self-standing and self-sufficient. But I think that an 84% cut is just way too much. And so I will be supporting this amendment. Other items from council? Okay, I've got an amendment on the floor to amend the PSA payments from $4,000 to $12,500 for the West Columbia Gorge Humane Society. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
No.
Okay. Motion carries. Other items, comments in regards to the remainder of the budget itself? Okay, seeing none, I've got a motion and a second to pass.
Sean?
Yes.
I'm not sure exactly how to do this, probably with a motion to bring the budget back when the $32,000 from the police union contract changes have been incorporated, and we have a truly balanced budget.
Well, we would eventually bring it back to you, at least in a supplemental during the year as it
Yeah.
pertains. Is it council's desire that it come back earlier than that?
No, that satisfies my requirement right there.
Okay.
Thank you.
One of the things, just so you know, one of the things that I mentioned to Dave early on in this, we kind of got into a discussion of how far do we go, how far don't we go in trying to keep redoing the numbers, which, as you can probably tell, gets a little bit laborious to begin with. What do we come up with? 1/2 of 1% is $25,000, or somewhere in there, 1/10, anyway. By the time we get done, I figure if we're within $50,000 to $60,000, it's within a margin of error either side because of the unknowns of complete property tax, receipts, sales tax, everything along the way. So I certainly don't mean to sound like I don't care what the final number is, but it's going to be floating for the next 12 months before we really know where it comes in as it is. So at least on paper, though, that's where we've got it at. Any other comments on budget?